Before and after. Hey everybody, I'm going to the movies. Huh. Before and after, bones and all. Dragon Movie Guy here. Before and after. Welcome to another episode where I tell you everything about a film I'm excited about before the movie, and then I come back afterwards and tell you whether I was right, whether I was wrong, or whether I should have been watching something else entirely. Before and after. The movie I'm watching today is Bones and All, starring Timothee Chalamet, Taylor Russell, and Mark Rylance. This is a hard R young adult human cannibal horror film. Say that 3 times fast. That's been making its way around the film festival circuit and has an 80% critics approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I smelled you.
This is not the usual type of film that I rush out to movie theaters to see.
I thought you might be hungry.
But there's something about this trailer. Bones and All is chock full of Oscar-nominated actors, which is unusual for a young adult genre film. There are 3 things that I'm looking for. Thing number 1 is the mix of a hard R human cannibal horror movie mixed with a young adult romance. Too much to be good.
Either you eat, you off yourself, or you lock yourself up.
We're dangerous.
The Twilight movies and Teen Wolf series prove that you can put bloody horror in with the young adult crowd.
Out loud. Say it.
Vampire.
You can't just go around turning people into werewolves.
Successfully somehow, but there's just something kind of weird about human cannibals being put into the young adult romance category, especially in a rated R movie. It really seems like it limits the size of the potential audience, but tonally it seems like it would be really off. Sort of like 50 Shades of Grey being a hard R S&M movie, but also trying to have a PG-13 romantic aesthetic. It just didn't work. Thing number 2, are there any eye-rolling plot twists that were just put in there to get critics to make them love this film? I love independent movies and I love plot twists, but I don't like plot twists that are just designed to get critics to go, ooh, I never would have thought about it. Oh, that's sending such a good message. That is such a powerful message, because they're trying to send a message or be different in some sort of weird and predictable way. I really am not looking forward to that. Fingers crossed. Thing number 3. Will Bones and All be a good career booster to Taylor Russell? Lost in Space and the Escape Room franchise. I think she's a young actress with a ton of potential, but when I saw the Bones and All trailer with her starring opposite Timothee Chalamet in a film about human cannibalism, it made me do a double take. I'm really rooting for this film. Taylor Russell always seems to bring more out of a character than one would think that there would be on the page. And to see her and Timothee Chalamet agreeing to do a film about human cannibalism at this point in their careers really does surprise me. So, that's been my before and after. Hey everybody, Dragon Movie Guy here again. This is such a mess. It is so full of itself, and not even full from eating other people. This movie about cannibalism can't even cannibalize itself to give a satisfying 2-hour runtime viewing experience. So full of itself. Okay, one of those films that likes to be moody and emo just for the sake, likes to take itself way too effing seriously. A guy walks around with no shirt on for 2 hours that has 8-pack abs and constantly complains about being hungry. People who hate artsy-fartsy films point to as saying that movie is the reason why I don't like artsy-fartsy film. Ugh. Not only do I not recommend watching Bones and All in theaters, I don't recommend watching Bones and All at all.
Some people are creepy.
There's such a talented cast in Bones and All, but it doesn't go anywhere. For being a road trip movie about not having a place to call home, however many states in the Midwest, metaphorically speaking and emotionally speaking, this film has no beginning, it has no middle, and it doesn't really even have an end. All right, let's do this. Thing number 1, a human cannibal / young adult romance film. How can it be both successfully? It doesn't. It's neither. For sure, it's about human cannibals, but this is not a young romance type thing. There's not even really much romance in this movie. It does have a lot of really talented actors. Taylor Russell plays an emerging human cannibal who's going through high school. First person she meets is Mark Rylance's character. The second person she meets is Timothee Chalamet's character. But there's not any real conflict. There's not any real purpose. There's no real direction. I mean, there's kind of a direction, but not really. What there is a lot of open road and a lot of moping, just not getting caught. What this is for sure is not a young adult romance. Yes, Timothee Chalamet has his shirt off, so you see his 8-pack abs. Yes, Taylor Russell plays the young ingenue type character, but there's no there. There's no romance. romance there. The only time anyone even says anything about emotion is when Taylor Russell asks Mark Rylance if that's what this is. And even that's not quite exactly what she was asking. It's just a film that's caught up in being artsy-fartsy and trying to be too clever. Thing number 2, Bones and All have an eye-rolling scene. Critics to fall in love with this deep and emotional film and get an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, yes, my God, yes. This film has an eye-rolling, cringy, oh God, here we go. Here we go again. Here we go, the only time scene. I don't want to spoil what eye-rolling scene is. It wasn't preachy. It just sort of is, oh yeah, ha ha ha. I am a film critic. This is the kind of movie that makes people hate film critics. Bones and All has an 80% film critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is somewhere in the 60s. It's a giant red flag. Does have a reason for being there. It isn't superfluous. It isn't pointless. But it is highly predictable. It's just surprising that it doesn't happen at the very beginning or the very end. It happens about halfway through, and then you're just sort of rolling your eyes the entire rest of the film, waiting for the whole darn thing to end. Chloe Sevigny does a nice job in a small role, but other than that, this film is a complete waste of time. And number 3, Taylor Russell will get a big boost in her career coming out of this film. Yes, even though there's not a whole lot of an emotional arc, even though there's not a whole lot for her to do other than eat human beings, she's sharing the screen with an Oscar-nominated actor in Mark Rylance. And she's sharing the screen with an Oscar-nominated actor in Timothee Chalamet. Even though this is not a good movie, this is a high-profile movie, Taylor Russell does go for it, whatever it means. She spends a good portion of this movie covered in blood, but I didn't really see anything new or special. She has a largely flat affect for most of this movie. Here is my movie score for Bones and All. Timothee Chalamet had an amazing personal trainer. He has 8-pack abs. And even for being a film about human cannibals, there's not a big body count. I give it 2 stars out of 5. Even though the pretentiousness score is a perfect 10 out of 10. To see more of my before and after movie reviews, please be sure to click subscribe to follow my channel. I've been Dragon Movie Guy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.